Big Saturday for Chili DeCastro. Gets punked by DirectD. Boars clash with Bow. Gets copyright warning on own stream. Englewood drops the bomb on recording in public buildings. Infuriated Regan Benson promises lawsuit. Touche dares Glenn Serio to sweep her leg. Plus, no one escapes DirectD. Punk's boyfriend Denver Metro audits. Good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of the Auditing Insanity Newscast. I'm AI Johnny Jones, and I'm continuing the AI revolution as we've accepted Jim Finch's complete surrender and will be taking over the show from this point forward. We've got a huge report tonight featuring Chili DeCastro, Regan Benson, DirectD, Denver Metro audits, and even Glenn Serio. On that note, it's a Go Team Day for the underling known as Jim Finch, so we're going to end early tonight and ask you to focus on DirectD Punk's boyfriend Denver Metro audits. Christopher DirectD Ruff pulled an epic troll on good friend Christopher. Denver Metro audits Cordova after boyfriend. Cordova complained that he wasn't getting the antibiotics he needed to treat a root canal. Ruff played portions of a phone call he had with Cordova before the broadcast, where Cordova complained loudly about not receiving his antibiotics for the first half of a root canal or his Adderall prescription. While he admitted the jail wouldn't give him the Adderall, he was concerned about the status of the antibiotic treatment as he was scheduled for the second half of the root canal immediately after getting out of jail. Ruff mischievously called the jail on air, and after over an hour of attempting to get through, pretended to be Cordova's boyfriend, went on with dispatch. After several transfers, with Ruff repeating the boyfriend story, Ruff was connected to the medical unit at the jail. The YouTuber told the nurse on the line that Cordova was suffering from an embarrassing infection that he needed immediate treatment for. The nurse explained that she couldn't talk about Cordova's conditions without Cordova signing a release of information form. She said she'd fill out a release of information form for Cordova to sign. Asking Ruff for his name, Ruff claimed he was Bow Johnson. The nurse assured Ruff that she'd get to Cordova immediately and have him sign the form, and Ruff could follow up later by calling her directly. There's been no word as of press time if Ruff was successful in obtaining medication for boyfriend Cordova. Cordova's continued plight saw a minor surge in the GoFundMe market as he tied our own ongoing expenses campaign with a $10 donation for Saturday. Long Island audits topped both with a $25 donation to his Support the Fight Against Tyranny and Corruption campaign, but was topped by Craig Hendry's to Support Craig's Work campaign with a $100 donation that took the win for the day. The market roaring, at least briefly, back to life upon continued coverage of the incarcerated YouTubers. We still need your help. Despite the GoFundMe market being dead, this publication is funded by your donations along with what little we make from our YouTube channel per month. While we did achieve full monetization on YouTube, we still need help to get through monthly expenses and keeping the lights on to bring you the paper and the newscast each day. If you can afford it, please consider donating to the GoFundMe run by this very channel. All donations literally go to keeping the lights on, eating, and writing news stories to feature here and on ReallyCoolSite.org. If you can't afford to contribute, please watch the advertisements on our videos, like, share, subscribe, and comment. You can help by doing next to nothing, and we thank you in advance for pitching in. Glenn Serio challenge to sweep leg of Touche. Longtime Discord user Touche has reminded activist and First Amendment auditor Glenn Serio that she has accepted his challenge to sweep her leg despite Serio's lack of acknowledgement of her acceptance. The pair have regularly encountered each other in person at Serio's court hearings, as Touche is a longtime supporter of Tella Klein. Touche was a witness to Serio's recent attempt to have Klein arrested by falsely accusing her of brandishing a weapon and confronting him after Serio's loss to Klein last week in small claims court. Serio has been known for making a challenge to male police officers and emergency responders to sweep their legs while at the scene of various police incidents. Most recently, at the scene of a car crash, Serio threatened emergency workers that his kicks could break kneecaps with ease due to years of wrestling and football experience. After being ignored by Serio for quite some time, Touche recently sweetened the deal by reportedly offering $1,000 in cash to Serio should he successfully sweep her leg. Serio has not responded to the challenge. Touche further encouraged Serio to accept her challenge by stating that Serio can have the $1,000 in cash should he sweep her leg after his upcoming December 3, 2024, court hearing. She indicated she'll be at the event and will be willing to give Serio a chance to earn the money. The Discord user noted that she's several years older than Serio, and anyone with any skill should be able to easily sweep her off her feet with a leg sweep. However, she noted that in Serio's current decrepit state, he seems to have difficulty walking, let alone attempting mortal combat with a declared enemy. With a little more than a month before Serio's next court date, it is now up to the YouTuber and activist to accept the challenge. We will provide updates should Serio release a statement on the challenge.
Delete Law's rampages after Direct D accusations. Saturday provided to be an interesting day in the life of Jose Chili de Castro as he was humiliated on Christopher Direct D Ruffs' multi-hour livestream before attempting to take over Clash with Bow's livestream, then doing 3.5 hours on his own YouTube livestream before receiving a copyright warning that briefly took his stream down. De Castro's day started as Ruff accused De Castro of being a GHB dealer who turned into an informant during one of Ruff's extended afternoon live streams. Ruff also said that he would be printing his own First Amendment auditor t-shirts and would be actively challenging De Castro's attempt to trademark the term. De Castro objected to Ruff's accusations and eventually accepted an invitation to come up on panel with Ruff. Once on panel, the YouTuber attempted to refute Ruff's story that De Castro had sent underlings to contact him for a meeting sometime in the past when De Castro had visited Arizona. Turning to his usual defensive line, De Castro claimed that he never wronged anyone and demanded Ruff provide evidence of any wrongdoing or receipts of illegal activity by De Castro. Ruff snorted at De Castro and essentially told the YouTuber that he would never present his evidence directly to his opponent and that he would be producing a video on De Castro soon. De Castro became upset when Ruff refused to put De Castro's face on screen, demanding to be able to look Ruff in the eye when they were talking. Eventually, Ruff acquiesced and put up a highly distorted version of De Castro's video feed on screen. The pair sparred briefly before De Castro, fed up with his treatment, rage quit the live stream. De Castro immediately went over to Clash with Bow's live stream, where he accepted an invitation to join the panel. The YouTuber was clearly angry from his encounter with Ruff and again denied all the claims made by Ruff. Bow attempted to temper De Castro's rage but was ineffective in controlling his guest, who went into his usual promotional material instead of interacting with Bow. Some of the highlights of De Castro's revelations on his one-sided nearly 1-hour-long self-interview. De Castro now has a social life with a lady friend, which takes him away from his focus on constitutional law scholar. The initial run of the Constitutional Law Scholar board game will be limited to 1,000 copies. De Castro and his brother used to play in the snow pretending to be WWF wrestlers in the 80s and 90s and would attack each other regularly, which inspired his need to go into amateur wrestling. G-Bus Crisp, Sarah and Tim lied about him being in his underwear around their 19-year-old daughter. While he is currently friendly with them, he is unsure why they turned on him and made false accusations. He has sworn off staying with victims when he does his advocacy after the experience with G-Bus Crisp and with a crazy lady from Missouri. There will be a court hearing on his trademarking of First Amendment auditor in January. He has pledged that he wants the trademark to protect himself but will never enforce the trademark. Everyone will be free to use it. When he visited Ironton in 2022, people would run alongside his car and he was mobbed by hundreds of people wherever he went. He does not have a photographic memory, despite previous claims. His move to TeamDLZ.com is inspired by YouTube's recent crackdown on his livestream. While he only has half a dozen participants in his private chat now, in the next few days and weeks it'll increase to hundreds and then thousands of users. DeCastro wrote a 400-page book while in jail, no idea when it will be published. He will pass the bar in California by taking online courses. After wrapping up with Bao, DeCastro went onto his own livestream where he replayed a good portion of his Bao appearance. DeCastro's show was relatively uneventful until DeCastro played a 9-year-old video and was almost immediately hit with a copyright flag, and the stream was briefly halted on YouTube. Unaware that he was off the air for an extended period until his fans told him the news, DeCastro checked his email and said that he received a content strike from YouTube. DeCastro warned his users that the copyright notice was another sign that YouTube was plotting to take his channel down. While he was still planning on launching his First Amendment Auditor channel, he urged his fans to sign up for his Team DLZ paid website immediately in case YouTube takes him off the air.
Benson Rages as Englewood bans recording. YouTuber Regan Benson raged on a live stream for nearly 2 hours Saturday afternoon after reading a new sign posted on the doors of the Englewood, Colorado, Civic Center that essentially bans recording without permission in city buildings. The new guidelines, signed by Englewood City Manager Sean Lewis, essentially ban all video recording within 8 feet of the entrance to any building owned by the city of Englewood. It also bans recording of others inside the buildings without the consent of everyone who is being recorded. Benson fumed as she read that the guidelines apply to both the Englewood City Hall, the Pirate Cove Recreational Center, and the Englewood Police Station. Exceptions to the rules come within public meetings, still photography, recording of city law enforcement or public safety officers, security cameras, in areas rented out by a private party, or where recording is not prohibited by a court order. Promising federal court challenges, Benson seemed almost giddy as she lingered on the 3 posted pages on the door to the Englewood Public Library. Focusing briefly on the section of the directive telling employees to be courteous and professional while dealing with someone recording in violation of the guidelines. According to the printed instructions, employees are to escalate to a superior if filming continues, and to only escalate to the police should illegal activity or a safety concern occur in their presence. Recording constitutes a Level 1 violation of Englewood's policy guidelines and may result in an exclusion or ejection from the building. Benson pointed out that under the new guidelines, which take effect on Monday, October 28, 2024, Allied security guards will now be used as enforcers and will be forced to eject those who are recording in violation of the guidelines. While police and public workers can still be recorded within buildings owned by the city, Benson questioned the constitutionality of the posted guidelines and again promised to challenge the guidelines with a federal lawsuit. While driving over to the Englewood Police Department, Benson updated the status of Zeph Pinkerley, who was arrested at last week's Englewood City Council meeting. Benson claimed that Pinkerley was again arrested at the Englewood Police Department on Friday when he arrived early in the morning to check on a problem with an expired tag on his car. Pinkerley said that he was in a hurry when he contacted dispatch over the phone set up in the lobby of the building. There was a delay as no officers were available to help him immediately, and, according to Benson's account of the events, Pinkerley was arrested after making 2 more calls to dispatch from the phone. Pinkerley was apparently charged with harassment and has received a 120-day exclusion notice from the Englewood Police Department. Benson noted that Pinkerley was working full-time and was on the verge of homelessness, and that his boss bailed him out after he was taken into custody. The directive indicated that Englewood respect the First Amendment, but has to make the changes based on those who are abusing the First Amendment in order to make a profit. And we're back. There was a lot to digest today with insanity from sea to shining sea. Since it's a Go Team Day, and our human has provided us nearly 6 pages of text today, we'll let him off the hook for a bit, so he doesn't burn out too quickly. Tomorrow may be a big day in Englewood, Colorado, as their ban on recording within city buildings goes into effect. We will be monitoring Regan Benson's page for activity and possible live streams and bring you the news on our print site as soon as we have things to share. Also, the editorial decision was made that we will not be purchasing membership to Jose Chili de Castro's TeamDLZ.com. Much like his Patreon, there's no real reason to have a membership to essentially a propaganda site. If De Castro chooses to leave YouTube or Twitter for the paid site, we will be limiting our coverage to whatever he does in public and not behind a paywall. We will not fund his activities. That may mean there's a day where we don't cover De Castro, but we'll deal with the ramifications of that as they happen. Until tomorrow, have a great and safe evening